This is Mike Bluehair you're listening to, and Bunny Boots Inc., and we are reviving Strategic Noncompliance, the podcast I was doing through Revolution Radio, not Revolutionary Radio, although it is kind of revolutionary. But yeah, so if you can hear our voice right now, you are the resistance. If you've never heard of Strategic Noncompliance, I had Bunny Boots on as a guest. It's basically a way for people that aren't complying with the status quo of brainwashing to get together and compare notes and to try to perpetuate what they're doing or to brainstorm ideas. So we'll be reaching out to other people that are prominent figures in the interweb and talking to them about how they refuse to comply with the status quo. So say hi, Mr. Boots.
Yo, how's it going, everyone?
So yeah, this is basically a test for you guys. We didn't get a guest. We're just gonna talk amongst ourselves, me and Mr. Boots here. Although, you know, Mr. Boots has been all over the interweb and made himself quite famous in the subculture of cop watching and the liberty movement for doing his silent treatment videos, especially. Those are my favorite anyway, in federal buildings and whatnot. And just for new listeners or viewers, because this will be a video podcast eventually, Bunny, can you tell folks what a silent treatment is and what's the point?
All right, well, when it comes down to the silent treatment, what it is where you go out there, you do pretty much the standard, like, First Amendment audit, First Amendment test, where you go and film something. But if you get interaction from security personnel or a police officer or some sort of law enforcement, the objective is to exercise your Fifth Amendment right, the right to remain silent, not to self-incriminate yourself, and not speak to the officers that are asking you questions. In which case, or security personnel that are asking you questions. In which case, yeah, pretty much the objective is just keep your mouth shut. It's one of the things that is fundamental, because everybody has a right to speak, everybody has a right to remain silent, but no one really exercises the right to remain silent quite often when you think about it.
No, I can speak for myself. Keeping my mouth closed is very hard for me. I have the exact opposite style than you do, although I have loads of respect for it. But my modus operandi is to get right up in their bitter, pinch, mean, evil little faces and heckle and admonish them. And the reason why I prefer this method is because I want people to see that you can challenge authority figures, and you know, when they're breaking the law or when they're violating people's rights, they should hear about it. They should be embarrassed. They should be publicly called out. But what I adore most about the silent treatment is that it really enrages them when you don't engage. It really, it's like a slap in the face to their authority, because you're not like volunteering up a whole bunch of information and acting nervous like you've done something wrong. Everything becomes incumbent on them when you refuse to speak with them. You know, and I find that kind of beautiful.
Yeah, that is actually quite the interesting part. You get the experienced interactions have a tendency to get more exaggerated, especially the longer you keep that silence up, where their personality type really starts to shine. A good example is the silent treatment versus Mr. Talkative video I did, where I had a security guard literally talk to me for about 10 minutes straight, where I said nothing the entire time, and he just kept talking and talking and asking questions, answering his own questions. A lot of people were just laughing their butts off at that one.